appreciate it.
Sorry, I should say hello to you, and you just walked away from me.
No, I was just... Hi, I'm Adriana.
Adriana?
And Dakota.
Dakota.
This is my creative team.
Ah, yes. I don't know why I was expecting old people, but maybe it's because
I'm old.
I'm not that you're old, but you're a very young old.
Yeah, and he's still trying to convince his dad to buy a High Wing.
I like the High Wing better than the TSI, just from the space and everything.
So, I mean, we see that so much nowadays. Oshkosh I saw it because we had the two planes next to each other, but even like last night, a bunch of our teams, Maria and our test pilots, Dear Funny runs low wing final assembly, Raynor runs high wing final assembly, and then Armin and Bernard, who are engineers who are pilots, they all flew out to a place called Paris, is the Afrikaans word. Paris is the English word, Paris in South Africa. To a kind of the Aero Club of Paris get together, and there's videos they made of the three airplanes in a row. There's the Sling LSA, the TSI, and the High Wing. And there's just like people, one after another, walking, and they just walk straight past the TSI, and they all walk to the High Wing, and they all want to see the High Wing. Yeah. And it's because quite a lot of them they're quite big farmers, quite big, strong. You know, the Dutch are the biggest nation in the world, and so Afrikaners are quite big. Yeah, tallest and biggest nation in the world.
But not
Afrikaners are of Dutch descent, and so they're quite big people, and they all just want the space. They want the space.
After catching up with Andrew, we had the opportunity to sit down for a conversation with James Pitman, co-CEO of Sling.
So, Linda, I do feel a great deal of kind of warmth and love for you as one of our first. In fact, I think that you are our first, you're not our first woman buyer, of course, but I think you are the first woman who came to Sling, bought a kit, built it, paid the pain and suffering price of being the early adopter, and then, not only flies it, but, has done these wonderful journeys with us as well. So that's a really good feeling, and hopefully it's a sign of really good stuff to come.
Well, thank you. No, it's been great. I mean, and when I did my initial IRMT training, my husband came with me, and he said, and Dean, who is the brains there, I mean, he's amazing. There's nothing he doesn't know about a Rotax engine.
Yeah.
And he said that he's had a lot of husband and wives, but it was always the husband, the wife.
Bringing the wife along.
It was the first time he'd ever had the wife be the primary and the husband be the secondary. But when I went to maintenance school, they didn't even have female bathrooms.
Yeah.
The instructors had to give up their bathroom for me because there was only one bathroom in the hangar, that kind of a thing. So things have changed a lot, and I'm excited that we're having our own conference this year in September. Typically we just tagged on to the Women in Aviation Conference. We used to call ourselves a muffin organization. But anyway, I could go on about it.
It's quite extraordinary how these things change. What was the wonderful film about the Black American woman in the space program in America? And I remember sitting on an aeroplane and watching it because I come from terrible apartheid South Africa. There were so many similarities. They didn't have toilets, and so they had to take long periods of time to go and use their own toilets. And I was sat on an aeroplane watching this and became quite emotional. And eventually, aeroplanes are the place for me, commercial aeroplanes, not our airplanes, to kind of let go emotionally, because I'm often alone without my family. Nobody can telephone. And if I watch a film, I become incredibly kind of sentimental, and I was bawling my eyes out, and this kind of air steward was coming and trying to offer me champagne and say, "Sir, is everything all right?" And I was like, "Just go away, leave me." It was about all this kind of wonderful kind of, when I can't remember, John Glenn or somebody in something isn't working in the rocket says, they ask him, they say, "Look, you're the astronaut, you've got to make the decision, do we call it off or do you go?" And John Glenn looks and he points at the black woman who is one of the kind of programmers, and he says, "If she says we should go, I'm a go." And it's a kind of American hero moment,
It's a new time.
So, I mean, Linda, I love having you back here. You have come to do a walk around in our factory, right?
Yes.
And to show some of the world.
Yeah, where I had the great honor of spending about a 4.5 month time. I was commuting from South Africa to New York to go to work over a 9-month period, and they put up with me and let me stay. I stayed on the field here, rented a place. We're at Tedderfield in South Johannesburg, and it is an air park. as we would call it. And so
The location of Tedderfield, of Sling Aircraft.
location of
We do all of our manufacturing.
Yeah, tell us a little more.
Yeah, so, the first two purchases of our new model of aircraft, the Sling High Wing, were Linda Sollers and a guy called JP Schulze. And we were lucky enough to have you guys to build those aircraft yourselves, but here at Tedderfield Air Park, in hangars belonging to various people here. And so, they paid a price for being early adopters because we were still kind of actually in the development phase to some extent, so it took quite a long time. But it meant that we could help and fix and kind of as we went.
And we got to have input on some of the
outcomes ultimately, yes, or the design considerations, both for design performance and manufacturability.
Right, and comfort, creature comfort.
And creature comforts. And of course created that opportunity to do the wonderful trip which we did, flying those 3 airplanes to America to get them there to Oshkosh in July 2022 was that? Yeah, that we did that journey. So I am unfortunately about to exit to go to Cape Town to ride the Cape Town cycle tour, which I have to do on a tandem bicycle for the 17th time in 18 years with my wife. So I'm not here to be part of this factory tour. But because Linda, you are, I feel like saying, you are asking the question, you are absolutely able to do a factory tour, aren't you? But I don't need to ask the question because I've watched you showing the world already just how our factory works.
Well, and it's changed a lot. It's grown a lot since I was here just a few years ago.
It has changed a lot, yeah. And so I'm really quite proud of how it looks. In the early days, I felt like we were a mom and pop shop. But I feel as if, when I walk people around, I joke and I say, listen, does it look like a real airplane factory? And it really, really does now. I think that it's institutional and human, not just mum and pop shop. So I'd love to see how that looks to you, kind of as you go around and film it a little bit. We've got the whole Alrode division, which is about 300 out of 485 employees. And you've seen all of that, so you're going to go and take another look. We are about to add another 1,500 square meters to the 6,000 square meter single space. And that'll mean that we can move composites from the 2 little bentonite street units into the 3rd one as well. Bring aluminium parts production across to the massive basalt street space.
Great.
And it creates the kind of space to run a more linear production procedure, I think, in our factory.
And one of the things that I think is a little bit interesting is that, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the reasons that you started in Alrode to begin with was you needed more consistent power than you were able to get here, which I understand is solved now, but just sort of historically, it's an interesting little fact as to why the factory split in the first place.
So, there are challenges in any business that are manifold, I was just saying on the way here in the motor car with a friend of mine who's a bush pilot from Kenya, trying to explain some of our business to him. And I think that South Africa is the most ideal location on earth to develop, manufacture, test, and support light aircraft in the kind of category in which we find ourselves. Not because everything is perfect, there's a lot of stuff that is not perfect, but the regulatory environment is actually favorable. It's a developmental country, developing country, so it's a cheap location. Premises are cheap, labor is cheap, and a bunch of other stuff is cheap. We've got a kind of new world mentality like Americans have got. And I think that there's a massive enthusiasm amongst people to work. We've got massive unemployment, which creates capacity for exploitation, but we find positive people and we can get the technical skills even though they're maybe not as widespread. Some of the challenges are that we have inconsistent power supply. Sometimes, we struggle with skills location, but we didn't have enough power, and of course we were in these broken up 8 hangars here at this location. But any organically growing business has those kinds of challenges. So we moved into Alrode, where we do now have consistent power, and a second location, which is a 6,000 meter space, where we really can structure a proper kind of conveyor belt linear production process. So hopefully you're going to see that today.
Watched it since you bought it and it was empty, and now I've seen it get filled up, and there's a lot to recommend it. It was wonderful to have everything here, and I do count myself as fortunate as having been able to be here when so much of it was located on the field.
Because it was always nice to be able to see it all together.
Yeah, but it's...
we are producing now parts for 16 aircraft a month, and we are selling those 16 aircraft essentially as 8 ready-to-fly aeroplanes and 8 kits. But by the end of May, we're at 22 aeroplanes a month, in which 12 of them are ready-to-fly aeroplanes, 4 high wings, 2 TSIs, and 6 or 7 two-seat aircraft, which are essentially training airplanes, and the balance of 10 aircraft are kits. So as you take a look, see whether it looks possible to get that many airplanes out of this kind of physical structure.
But it's not, the facilities are wonderful, and they've been growing and being put together intelligently and impressively, because one of the great things is you know what you want to do. So it appears to me that you've been able to set things up in a beautiful fashion and consistent in that regard. But it's the people too. I'm so impressed with the people that are here and the commitment that they have to the product, to the safety of the product.
So we work hard at it. It is, every place is different, but South Africa has its challenges because of our difficult social history. We come out of this apartheid racialized background, and I suppose in some ways, when you get things right and you make things work, there's a kind of social energy that comes with the sense of things getting better and improving. But there are also a lot of kind of historical challenges to kind of overcome. I think that ultimately every business is about its people, because in the medium and long term, it's the people that develop it, run it, and change it. And so we're working, flipping hard at it, and I think that we are doing well. Yeah, it's a hands-on job. It's not mechanized like, doing widgets, motor cars, toothpaste tubes, that kind of stuff. It's a very hands-on job, and so we employ a lot of people. The point I was trying to get to is that there's massive unemployment in this country. Actually, in real terms, the official figure is 32%, but the real terms about 42% of people who ought to have a job in this country are unemployed. It does make people that do have work really quite glad to have a job, and we look after those people, and I think that we derive the benefit from that. Engineers and accountants and so on come out of universities, but almost everybody that works on the floor in South Africa has a basic school leaving certificate, which is called the matric in South Africa, and then we teach people how to do their work, and boy are they good at it. Once people have been with us 3 or 4 years, they become hugely valuable and hugely skilled at the work that they're doing.
One of the great events that they have, at least one, and you may have more, is they have a family day where everybody at the factory gets to come out and bring the family and go for flights in the aircraft.
So on family day, we fly 900 people, 2 or 3 family members from every single employee in the business. And we also have a rule in place where any employee who comes to work at this business gets to fly within 2 months of starting, so that they kind of have a feel for the product which they are contributing towards building. One of the sad things about having a separate location is that people in Alrode don't get to see the aeroplanes flying. And so in fact, next Friday, we're bringing 140 of our 480 employees have not yet flown. We're doing 70 of them Friday next week, and then another 70 Friday the following week.
Oh, wonderful. Well, we will look forward to it. We do appreciate on this short morning where you have very little time, you spending some time with us.
Thank you. That's brilliant.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Okay, right.
All right.
I'm out here. I'm going to fly with Frank.
Always a delight talking with James. Now let's go meet up with Aiden, who's going to take us on a tour of the Tedderfield portion of the factory.
Hi, Linda Sollers here from my home away from home, the Sling factory. I first came here in 2021 in July to fly the prototype. Had a wonderful time, visit there, and started a whole new adventure for myself. Came back in November in 2021, and from then until Oshkosh, I came back and forth commuting from Johannesburg to New York for my job. So I spent about 4.5 months here building the first customer-built high-wing Sling aircraft, and they consider it a production kit. I did it from a flat box, and I just had a wonderful time and met my second family here at Sling, and I'm very honored and excited to have the opportunity to come back and visit again and see so many familiar faces and some new faces, and see the amazing growth that's happened since I was here just a few short years ago. Yeah. And here's Aiden. Oh, I got it wrong, didn't I?
No, that's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
And here's Aiden, who's been working here in the engineering department,
R&D, yes.
R&D, and has recently moved over to sales. And he's going to give us a grand tour of what's here at the factory, at the part of the factory that's here at the airfield at Tedderfield in South Johannesburg. Part of the factory is here, and the final assembly, the paint and electronics, we'll see all that. And then and the rest of the factory where they make the sub-assemblies and cut the parts and the composite and everything is at another location over in Alrode, which we're going to talk about also. So thank you so much for your time, and thank you for welcoming us here today.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Well, thank you so much for coming. It's been an absolute pleasure.
All right. So
This is where most of the kits end up before they get shipped off to wherever they need to go all around the world. So as you can see, some of the wings that are in here currently are just being packed in here so that they're out of everyone's way. So not all of the wings and everything are for kits. So these are probably going to be taken to spray shop now. Yeah, so you can see a serial number, RTF serial number 067. So that'll be a high wing.
So the wings for the high wing and
Good on you.
are the wings for the high wing and the TSI still the same?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. So there haven't been any massive changes from the designs in that aspect. I mean, obviously we've had small tweaks here and there to make fuel sending better, to make. I think we did a little bit of stress analysis where we beefed up a few areas in the actual top box itself. I think we put new rivets in so that they could handle the stresses a little bit better. But other than that, there haven't been any major design changes in the wings. Now, if you order a high wing quick build kit, this is pretty much what you're going to get in terms of your fuselage. So we follow the 51% rule with the quick builds. So we will build the kit up to a certain point for you, and then from there you kind of have to take it, on your own and finish the rest of the aircraft. What's nice with the monocoque design for the high wing is that the fuselage is pretty much already done. The actual structural integrity of the fuselage is already built, and there's not, unless you take a grinder to it, there's nothing that you can really stuff up when you're putting together your kit. And then a basic do everything yourself kit will look like that when it arrives, and then you have to build the tail and the rear section of the fuselage yourself. So that's for the really, really adventurous builder who wants to give himself a serious challenge. And sorry, everybody's getting in everybody's way.
So what I did was that.
So
I started from a flat, what's called a flat box kit. I had the fuselage, looked a little different back then.
Yeah.
And then I was able to do all of it. And when we get to the top box part of the fun for me was being the first. I was able to actually work on the top box and work on the wing spars and rivet those, which normally a builder, whether you got a quick build or a flat box kit, you would never have the opportunity to do that. So
so the
now
reason
the top box isn't it in on the flat box? Do they have to install the top box?
Yeah, you still will have to, on the
have
flat
to
box, you'll
install
still
the
have
top
to
box.
install your top box. But so for any flight critical components, we will do the actual construction of it for you, and that includes the carry through spars on the top box. That includes your main wing spars and some of our empennage spars as well, simply because we use a different construction method for that, so that being solid rivets and that kind of thing, and we just don't want to take the risk of allowing a builder, especially if it's a first-time builder, to attempt to do that, because it is quite an important structural part of the wing. So we try to, mitigate the risks of doing that by doing it ourselves and ensuring the quality before we ship it out. Yeah, so you'll see a couple of boxes here that have actually got wing spars in them already. All these long boxes that are sitting here, those are all wing spars that are being shipped off to wherever they're going. And if you have a look on the top of the box, you can actually, it tells you the name of the customer, where it's being shipped to. So this one is Peter Eddy's. His serial number is 062. It's a high wing and it's going to Australia. And this is an upholstery kit. So this is all of his seats and his leather panels and everything that make the high wing look so nice inside. Yeah. So move across now to high wing final assembly side. This is our high wing final assembly department. So this is basically where the magic of turning a kit into a fully realized aircraft happens. So every aircraft that gets built in here is a ready-to-fly aircraft that's been purchased by a customer. And you can see that this is literally start to finish. So if you look down there, we have the most basic form of the high wing as it arrives from the factory. So pretty much the way that we do it is our guys will receive a kit from the factory, but our guys are trained to be able to assemble the kit for the customer and build it to Sling's quality, which is very high, I must say. So the kit will arrive looking like this. I think we've actually got a tail dragger here. Yes, we do indeed. So one of the options that we offer on the high wing is also a tail dragger variant, also 916 Rotax, and then we've got the tricycle gear as well. So what our guys will do is they will do all of the prep work and everything, and they will assemble the aircraft to a certain point, after which it then gets sent over to the paint shop over there, which we'll walk through now. And then after paint, it will come back here for final assembly, and we'll put everything together. We'll do all of the plumbing and the wiring of the engine. We'll wire the Garmin Avionics into the panel, and then Rian, who you met earlier, will take one of them up for a test flight. He'll do about an hour's test flight as the maiden flight of the aircraft, and then he'll come back and he'll tell us whatever snags he may or may not have found. And then what we'll do is our guys will set about resolving the snags or the issues that they've found with the initial flight. And once those are all resolved, Rian will then complete further 4 hours of flying, and at which after that point we will then either deliver it to the customer, or we will disassemble it, stick it in a crate and send it to wherever it needs to go. Okay, should we go across to the paint side now? You guys can see what it looks like when we actually prepare the fuselages and the cowlings and everything for paint. Something that we do that I don't actually know of a lot of other aircraft manufacturers that offer is we fill every single rivet with a polyester resin fill to help with water sealing the rivets. I don't know, we did that for your plane, didn't we? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it is an option where we offer to fill every single rivet on the aircraft for you in order to prevent any water seepage or anything like that. And also for aesthetics, I mean, it makes it look really nice.
So many times people come up and say, are these bucked rivets? Because it looks... Yeah.
Well, because they assume if they've seen an RV, then they would think, well, then it's the same thing. But, yeah. And then we also do the countersunk rivets on the leading edge of the... Did you also take that, option?
Well, not only on the countersunk, I wanted countersunk on all the fuselage.
Okay.
And at the time, everybody's like, it doesn't matter, there's no airflow, blah, blah, blah. But
Yeah.
you guys countersink it as a matter of course now, right, on the fuselage?
Yes, I believe we do. Well,
that was-
it's an option. We do offer it as an option, so it's not a standard. Simply because it is quite a bit of extra work to get it done. So we don't offer it as a standard, but we do offer it certainly. So you'll see a lot of our high wings have got it done.
A lot of
Yeah.
people thought I was absolutely ridiculous to do that, but I held to my guns, and you can see it's an awfully popular
Oh,
option.
absolutely, absolutely. This is our paint prep room. So basically, whenever any article of an aircraft needs to get painted, it'll come here first. We'll do sanding to make sure that the surface that we're going to paint on is as smooth as possible. Over there, I'll take you there now so you can see the guys actually filling the rivets as they go along. And again, like I said, it's both an aesthetic and functional choice because it also allows, well, stops water from seeping through the rivet heads. Yeah, so we'll start on that side and then we can move through to the actual paint shop itself. There you go. So what we use to fill the rivets is a polyester resin blend. It's a two-part system that we mix with the resin and the hardener. And once it's set, it's incredibly strong and durable, and it's sandable as well, so it makes it quite nice to flat it down before we paint over the top of it. What I wanted to mention, one of the questions that we get fairly often is why do we Alodine the parts if we're just going to sand the Alodining away when we're busy doing paint prep? And the answer to that is the Alodining that we do is more for the inside of the empennage and the wings and everything to protect the corrosion on the inside, because the outside obviously gets its own layer of protective paint when we paint it. So we're more worried about protecting the inside of the aircraft than the outside, but the Alodining process itself. Yeah, so let's make our way through, get out of all this noise. Here you can see a good example, like Linda mentioned earlier, the difference between the alodining of the aluminium and the anodizing. So the wing spars are anodized in what's called a natural anodizing or clear anodizing. So it doesn't really add any color to the actual aluminium itself, but it helps a lot with the protection of the metal.
Now I want to also point out that this is a laminate, I guess is what you call it, multiple layers like any laminate would be, and this adds a lot of durability. When I used to have a Cessna T210 and there was an issue with the wing spars, this wouldn't have that kind of an issue because it's aluminum, it's anodized, and it's a laminate. So if there's an issue on one layer, it's still, am I correct, Mr.?
100%. The other thing that also helps a lot just doing it this way is that if you do somehow manage to damage your wing spar, it's a lot easier to disassemble the laminate, replace one part of the wing, the damaged part, and then re-laminate it rather than replacing an entire wing spar.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, so if you look at some of the other aircraft designs, I mean, one that I know of is like an I-beam extrusion.
Yes,
some
that's
are complete solid spars. And if you do get a bad case of hanger rash or you get a bird strike or something like that, if that spar does get damaged, you have to replace the entire spar, you don't have a choice. Whereas with these, in certain cases, you won't have to do that because you can remove one of the layers and replace it with a new one.
Well, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
And these are the holes. So one of the great things about the high wing is that there are no struts. Just look on, no struts, right?
Cantilever wing, yeah.
And so you've got these incredible, the bolts actually have a pedigree, right? They're tested, they have papers, they have a pedigree that hold this to the incredible top box, which we will see. But there's no strut here, as you can see. And part of the magic of this design and what Mike Life, the legend, the brilliant Mike Life came up with was a way to effectively attach and undergo all kinds of loads and strains with the use of these bolts. There's a bolt on the rear spar, but that just kind of keeps it in place. So yeah, and these bolts have a pedigree, they have papers, they've been non-destructively tested before they're put in, is my understanding. So it makes for a wonderful, it does make it a little bit challenging to know, for people to know where to push when we're moving the plane around. Because everybody wants to go for the strut, right? They're like, ah!
but there are plenty of places you can push nonetheless.
Yeah.
So that doesn't turn out. But you have this wonderful unimpeded view out the window, which is one of the things that I love about my airplane. And I have put hammock hooks so I can hang a hammock underneath wing. If there was a strut in the way, that would be very uncomfortable.
Yes.
And oh, by the way, here, if you come here and take a look, you can see the size of these bolts here.
That's for the.
Yeah, these are the bolts that are holding the primary bolts that are holding the wing onto the top box. Continue.
Okay. Do we want to move through to the paint section now?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a little bit quieter in here. So this is pretty much where final paint work gets done. All of the touch-ups, the polishing and everything before the aircraft is either finally assembled or, you know, this is pretty much where paint goes to be finished off, to be polished, to be looking absolutely spick and span before we deliver it to the customers. Funny story about the spray booth that's behind you. So this spray booth was pretty much, we lost an aircraft but gained a spray booth, is the story that I've been told. So back when we were first initially doing the flat spin testing with the Sling 2, one of our test pilots took the Sling 2 down to the coast and he was over the water doing flat spin testing on the aircraft, and he put it into a flat spin and he wasn't able to get it out. So unfortunately he had to ditch the aircraft. He had a parachute with him and he had to jump out because he couldn't rectify the spin. And the second that he jumped out and pulled the chute, the aircraft rectified on its own and continued flying. So he, from his parachute, watched this aircraft do a couple spirals and end up in the water, thinking to himself, well, that's just grand. But luckily the aircraft was insured, and with that insurance money that we got from that aircraft, we were able to buy the spray booth, and it's been with us ever since. We basically offer any paint scheme that a customer can come up with, we'll pretty much do. There's very rarely ever been a time where we've said, no, we're not able to do a paint scheme like that for you. There's we've done pink slings, we've done purple slings, we've done anything that you can think of, we've done it. I'm very excited to see what it's going to look like when it's finished, because it's a Bentley racing green, and in the sun it is absolutely stunning. It sparkles, it's like a beautiful deep sparkly green. I'm very excited to see what this aircraft's going to look like when it's done.
Well, my paint job was so complicated, I went to get models made of my thing, and the model people said we can't do it.
Wow. So we've got our standard Sling paint scheme, obviously, but recently we haven't been doing a hell of a lot of the standard ones. We've been doing a lot of custom paint schemes, and they've been getting more and more exciting as we go along. Yeah. So if you look over there, this hangar that's just recently been put up, it's brand spanking new. It's going to be our paint shop expansion. So as we said before, the business is constantly growing, constantly expanding. We're constantly having to bring more people on to help us with the mission that we're on. And this is one of the most recent expansions that we've done. So this paint shop here is going to extend into this new hangar so that they've got more space. I'm not 100, I think they might be moving the spray booths in there. There haven't been like any confirmations yet. But you know, we just need to keep growing, you know, keep growing. So I'll walk you guys into our research and development department. So pretty much the brain of Sling. So every single design, every single test, every single drawing, everything that you have to have, you know, that's got anything to do with designing an aircraft starts in this department. So currently we have, I think it's a total of about 20 people working in the research and development department, 4 of which are full-time aeronautical and structural engineers, including Terry Musica, who is our current head engineer, who actually used to work here, and then he left us 7 years ago, I think it was. He can tell you exactly how long it was, but he left us to pursue other projects and everything, and then he's recently rejoined us as our head engineer. And he's been making waves. He's been making some very good progress with ironing out production processes and design processes, engineering processes and everything. So if he is hopefully in the office now, we'll have a good chat with him as well. Yeah, so this is our research and development department. So as part of the requirements to be part of R&D, you have to know how to play table tennis. Because this is basically during our lunch times and tea times and everything, we just to de-stress or play some ping pong, and we have a little league that we have going on all the time to see who's the king of the table at the moment.
How are you?
Well, it's good for you.
Well, I haven't been here for a while because obviously I've left the R&D department now, but I'd say I was pretty good. I was, you know.
It's good for the brain. Good
Absolutely,
for your
yeah. I was in the mid-range, I would say, yeah. It's a good de-stressor. Okay, so this is the research and development office. This is pretty much the brain of the operation when it comes to the actual building and designing of the aircraft. So as we walk through, we'll show you because there is so much going on in a sling, and there's so much to consider when designing an aircraft, we don't have any one person working on an entire aircraft at any given point. Everyone is given their own projects so that it's more manageable, because a lot of the projects can get quite in-depth. To give you an example, one of the projects that I undertook when I was still in the R&D department was the design of our throttle quadrants when we introduced the variable pitch propellers. So we introduced obviously the pitch lever into the throttle quadrant, and that was my baby for quite a while. There were a couple of iterations, and what we like to do at Sling is we never stop until we know that it's perfect. So if something isn't working quite the way we want it to, we will do a design revision. We will then put it into one of our test aircraft, we will test it, and then if we are happy with the entire design, we'll then roll it out into production.
There's a lot of focus on the wonderful adventures that James and Mike and myself and various other people have had in the slings and the Africa tours and whatnot, the Kalahari Bundabout. I mean, we've done a lot of wonderful adventures. And yes, there's certainly an element of social media, of promotion.
The social,
is the
yes.
word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Promotion associated with that. But having had the great honor of doing this, I can tell you that James and Mike really lived these planes. They lived the planes in a way it's wonderful, because every time we would land, first thing that happened, the bride gets going, the drinks get poured, and it's like, okay, what is it that's working, what's not working, what is it, so their ability to live the plane is part of, I think, the reason why
100%.
there's always the continual enhancements and improvements,
Absolutely.
which is not to say that if you get one today, I've got the first Sling High Wing. There have been a lot of refinements in the product.
Oh, yeah.
And I still love mine, and I'm hanging on to it.
No,
so,
absolutely.
it doesn't mean that it's too early. It's just that it's always being tweaked just a little bit, but in a good way. But it doesn't take away from the previous ones, in my experience.
So we won't give someone something that we're not completely and utterly happy with. But we do also have a small motto in Sling where we are continually looking for improvement. So we will continuously be looking for ways to make our aircraft better. But just to expand on that little thing where you said about James and Mike living the planes themselves, the other day I had to, on 3 separate occasions, try and pull James away from one of our aircraft because he had a meeting to attend, but he was so engrossed in busy helping us with one of our test aircraft that he completely forgot that there were people waiting for him. So he was actually bent over one of the engines of our aircraft, and he was talking to Rian, our test pilot, and some of our guys from R&D, and he was busy working on the engine himself, getting his hands dirty. And he said, James, we do have a group of people that are waiting for you, so if we could, So no, they are 100% involved in every aspect of the business, including the flying, including the adventures, including the improving the aircraft and everything like that. Full process of building the aircraft starts here. So the collective minds of everybody in this room is absolutely wonderful. I mean, I think you would struggle to find the same level of intelligence in a single office anywhere else very close. Like you would really, really struggle to find a group of people that are as smart and dedicated as the people that are in this room right now. And the amount of work that actually goes into the designing and refining of the aircraft is astronomical. It is a very, very large undertaking, and we are, as a company, very, very grateful for everybody that we've got in this R&D office, because they really do work their butts off to make sure that everything runs smoothly on not only production side, but also kit building side. I mean, we've got a technical department that helps with technical queries for our kits. If any customers do have any questions about the kits, whether it be not understanding how to put something together, or if they want better clarity on some of the construction manuals, we are available 24/7 for them.
Do we have a construction manual somewhere nearby? To flip
I think we might have one on Terry's. Terry, is the throttle quadrant still on your desk? Can I grab it from you?
Get one open on the computer though, but
If you get a construction manual in your kit, it's a nice big A3 printed book that you get with, and it's all fully color
Full
printed.
color, yeah.
But this we were just using for discussion purposes on some of our throttle quadrants. But as I mentioned earlier, one of the things that I was busy with when I was in the R&D department was the throttle quadrant design, and this is a very good example of what your construction manual will look like when you receive it. So it will basically detail every single part that you need to consider and every single part that's included in your kit. And it's pretty much like a very complicated Meccano set. We always say that if you can put together a really, really complicated Lego set, you can put together a sling. Obviously, everything to do with the wiring and the guiding avionics we do here. So as you've seen, I'm sure you've noticed throughout the entire factory tour, we try to do as much as we possibly can in-house, and we try to outsource as little as we possibly can, because then we've got a much better control over the quality that we're able to produce.
Yep. And for those, the U.S. customers, one of the primary vendors who's doing panels over there is Midwest Panels. And talk about customer service. They built my panel in the States. We shipped it over here, and then they flew out here. Both Steve and Adam came out here and installed the panel for me. Talk about customer service, huh? They came all this way. We had a wonderful time. And I wanted the Midwest panel. There was a few features that they had that at the time you didn't. I don't know if you do now. But also for support and everything, I thought it would be best to use Midwest. Not that you guys don't do a great job also. So it's good.
Yeah, so we work very closely with Midwest. We're in contact with them all the time. We're constantly sharing ideas back and forth, and they give us suggestions from things that they've found through their wiring, and we do the same for them. I think one of the systems that they probably installed for you in your aircraft was a VPX, more than likely.
Yes.
Yeah. So we don't offer it as standard, but we have incorporated VPX into our systems now.
Right.
Yeah, from suggestions from them. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. So if we want to walk through here, we can also have a look at some panels that are completed and pretty much ready to go into the aircraft. And this is Wayne, our electrics manager, hiding behind his work, keeping himself busy.
Pleasure to meet you.
pleasure to meet you too.
And this is Wayne. He's the guy that keeps the electrics department running. And there's never a dull moment. Never ever a dull moment in electrics. There's always something that has to be fixed, something that has gone wrong or gone right. But he's definitely got his hands full.
Every day new challenge, new something.
So this is pretty much where we bring all of the completed aircraft. We do the last final little touch-ups, whatever little bit of paint touch-up or stickers that need to be put on or anything like that. And then we do a whole nice display for the aircraft whenever our customer comes here to collect it. So like I said earlier, we'll put a nice big bow on the front on the fuselage, we'll put some champagne out, we'll make it a whole, I don't know whether or not we've ever done a red carpet for someone, but I'm sure we can. I'm sure we can, just to try and make the customer feel special, you know, because I mean it's a special moment. You arriving and seeing your aircraft fully completed for the first time. I mean, you know what that feels like. Good memories. I'm going to take us up to, well, let me see. Customer lounge, the Sling VIP lounge, essentially. We developed this concept kind of in line with what you would get if you go to a luxury sports car dealership or something like that. If you want to spec your aircraft, we allow you to choose from the different types of leather and material that we offer. For the upholstery within the aircraft, you can choose the color and the type of leather that you want on your seats, and we can color match and stuff like that. So if you want to look at having a charcoal with a light gray, you can see exactly what it's going to look like next to each other versus the black and the light gray, that kind of thing, you know. And then something else that's quite special that we're still busy developing is our paint cupboard. So in here is every paint sample that we are able to provide for you, and you can actually sit and spend hours and hours deciding what paint you want to put on your aircraft to the exact color.
Wow.
So we've even got the paint codes at the back, and you tell us what the code is of the color that you like, and we'll match that exactly to your aircraft.
The hardest part of the entire build for me was choosing the color. Just saying.
I believe it.
Yesterday, before we did the tour and everything, as I said, that anytime that Linda's here, everyone knows that Linda's here because she just puts such a big smile on everyone here's face, especially because there's so much history with her here and with Sling, as a brand as a whole. So even when I was still working in the research and development department, before I joined the sales team, we would all know exactly when Linda was here because our head engineer Jared would walk in and he would have a smile on his face. I've just spoken to Linda, she's back. We would always be so excited to hear what adventure she's on next, or the visits are always just so grand.
Oh, shucks, thank you. I'd love to be here. I really do. Thank you so much.
Nice to have you again.
Thanks for your time and your grand tour.
Absolutely.
Really
No problem at all.
do a great job with this, and welcome to the sales team.
Thank you
It's
so
going to be
much.
great having you here.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited.
Excellent. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Now that we've seen where the final assembly and finishing work gets done here at Tedderfield, we're going to go see the rest of the facilities, which is in an industrial area in Johannesburg called Alrode. Wonderful to be here. Now we are, as threatened or as promised, we're at the Alrode, one of the two current, soon to be three, facilities that Sling has expanded into in Alrode. And Hein is the production manager. Have I got your title right?
That's right.
Excellent. And he's going to show us around. So please take it away, Hein.
Great, thank you. So, everything that we get onto this premises comes in through this door. So this is our receiving area, and basically the receiving guys just do a basic paperwork check. Is it the right thing that we ordered, that's on the invoice, and is it the right number? And if they are happy with it, then it moves through to QC, which is the rest of this block. And the QC guys do an in-depth check on every single part. So they do dimensions, they print the drawing, or they pull it up on the computer, and they check dimensions, they check the type of material, and it's a much more detailed check.
Okay.
And if they are happy with it, it gets a barcode sticker like this, which tells us what is the part number, the stamp of the inspector who checked it, and the date that it came into the system. And from there on, it's a tracked part.
Excellent. Now, to be clear, these are Sling manufactured parts from the other facility, which we'll visit a little bit later on. So, and I suspect you might get parts from other vendors also.
Yeah,
but would I be correct in saying that this is where you do a sub-assembly
Yes.
work and...
So everything that we do and that we make is kind of born here. So this is where it all starts, and then we take it up to a point for the ready-to-fly airplanes, and we send it across to Tedderfield where it gets finished.
Right. So it really is that the raw materials go to the bentonite, which we'll visit, and then they come here and they get imported here and then made into various sub-assemblies and whatnot, and then to Tedderfield.
Exactly right. I don't know if you've met Bob.
Yeah, I know Bob. This is Bob, our quality manager, Sling's
Yep.
quality manager. Correct? He's in the middle of something, obviously, but I did want to say hi to you before, and you were scurrying away every time we got near you. Some people do that.
I didn't miss you this time, eh? You've timed your ambush to perfection.
That's right. Give us a little thumbnail of what you're doing here.
So we are busy ramping up for the Excellencia order, as you know. So there's a lot of parts moving through QC now. It's in the order of 11,000 a week that we are inspecting. And I'm proud to say we've got a very low rejection rate. Am I right, Hein?
Yeah, less than 5% in most weeks.
So, that means that downstream, upstream things are going well. Like in Willie's shop, the parts manufacturing, and the composites, we're getting better products out. And I think it's been a team effort to get like the cogs turning slowly in the same direction.
Well, it's part of the glory of growing from a small shop into a large production.
And now it's just wonderful that Sling's been able to bring you guys on board with that, with the knowledge and the expertise that you have to really take it to the next level. It's really been a wonderful thing to see, and I've had the great fortune of watching the growth over the last couple of years. It's been astounding.
I mean, I've only been here about a year, and I think we've added almost 100 people in that time.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, the rate of expansion, but it's also giving us pain, you know. Taking good people out of positions to promote them, getting green people in, teaching them the tricks, monitoring, you know. So, and it's also a culture issue now. As a company culture, to get everyone in the same direction, it's difficult.
Yeah. We've certainly got our work cut out for us.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Well, you're doing a great job, and thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for what you did. Thank you. We'll let you get back to.
And then whatever part is produced and is barcoded moves into stores. So we have a netball team and a soccer team, and the netball team won the league last week. The final score was 31-9, so we're very proud of them.
Excellent, excellent.
So this is our stores. In theory, we have enough parts here to build aeroplanes for between 3 and 6 months should we have an interruption of supply of anything. So a hell of a lot of bits and pieces.
That's a lot.
And we had our stock take just now, end of February. Looking really good. The numbers are looking really good. Mostly what the system says is what's on the rack, so that's always good news. And yeah.
Super.
Do you want to have a look around? Or?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Most of the ribs and things for the wings are kept up here, the smaller brackets and channels. So this is kit packing, and we also do the smaller orders. So, you know, if somebody orders single parts or upgrading kits, it all gets processed and packed here. And from here it goes all over the world.
So from here, so if it's a flat box, it doesn't ever go to Tedder, I guess.
It does actually. So
does
everything leaves from there. What I mean is,
Okay.
Once the box is closed, it just waits there basically until the container pitches up and then it's loaded. Nothing happens to it on that side.
Got it. For the kits, right. Okay, cool. Wow.
We've really ramped up our composites production. I don't know if you can remember from previous years, it looked quite scant when you came up here. But slowly we're really ramping up and improving technologies and so it's coming through.
Oh my gosh!
Good.
My airplane, hello!
Hello.
Good to see you. Fine, fine. You're working your magic. This is one of the true artists in all of Sling. I think I'm safe to say you are the most skilled artist of Sling. Is that correct? I think that's correct. Yeah.
I'd agree. Thanks, Enoch. Let's see what the welding on this side is. Looks like.
Oh wow.
Good stuff. So nose gear tubes. Two welders working here. And then we've got another two on that side.
Art in motion. This is great. Thank you.
Yes. And then everything they weld has to get polished and cleaned before it can get coated. Obviously there's inspection at every stage of the manufacture of the part.
Hi, how are you doing?
Thanks yourself, Linda.
Great, great. Can I get a hello?
With that,
That's all right. I wore black today. I wouldn't have to worry about it. I'm prepared. Oh my gosh. Oh wow.
This is super thin, so
That's amazing.
it's a really hard thing to achieve.
Bravo! Bravo!
Well done. cables. This is where all the bits and pieces that we don't sell as individual parts, we assemble them, either because it's too difficult or it's too important, and we sell it like that.
Right. So here are the new spars.
Yes, the new TSI spars.
So then eventually they'll all be like
They'll
this.
all be like this. Then we'll phase out the blue. But it is quite nice. It looks nice.
Yeah. Well, are the TSI spars and the high wing spars different now?
They are different. Yes.
And see, this is what I was talking about, the laminate approach to the spars.
Yeah.
There's
Yes.
more to go. It'll be thicker.
Yeah.
So
They're
you
still
can
busy
see here,
assembling.
it gets thicker and thicker.
Easier to repair and stronger. It's got a lot more, you can almost say, resilience built into it, because a crack or something in a solid piece is devastating. But if there's a crack in this, it's just one of the what do you call it, layers that's compromised. So this is much stronger, and it's you know, it's a better design for what we're doing.
Excellent. The high wing. I had the opportunity to work on the construction of the top box and the wing spars and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I had a really great opportunity. We were talking about some of these bolts. Are these are different than the ones that hold the wings on, right?
Yes, they are different.
And the ones that hold the wings on, as I understand, they have like a pedigree, they've been non-destructive testing, they have
Yes,
paperwork.
it's a special bolt. But even these ones, they're also de-embrittled.
De-embrittled, that's
yes.
the word. Oh, I love that word, de-embrittled. Excellent, excellent. That's what they do. Tell us about those bolts.
So it's basically just a heating process that removes the internal tensions in the bolt. So in the manufacturing process of the bolt, there's a lot of tension inside the bolt, and that tension, if you use the bolt, if it's under pressure, so when you torque it, those tensions can lead to, you know, various forms of malfunctions, cracking, or whatever the environment is that it's exposed to. So the de-embrittlement kind of relaxes the bolt.
Oh, nice, because there's a lot riding on these bolts. And we were
Yes.
talking about how...
Everything is riding on them.
That's right, everything is literally riding on those bolts. But also, one of the great things about the high wing design is that there's no strut. And this design and those bolts are part of what make that a possibility to be able to carry the loads.
Absolutely. I mean, if you think of it, it's a handful of bolts that the wings are attached to the fuselage with, so they are crucially important.
Yeah. Facility. Oh, it's wonderful. Everything's great. The plane's doing great.
Okay, yeah.
I'm carrying you guys all over the world with me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's what you want.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is the alodining process.
So, with this process, basically, there's 4 baths. The first bath is an acid bath, and it's just to clean the sheets properly. And then it gets to the second bath, which rinses the acid off. And then the third bath is where it gets a chrome covering. So it's basically etched into the surface of the skin. And the last bath rinses it. So this is quite a tightly controlled process. We've got timers. The parts spend a specific time in each bath, and it's also temperature controlled. So we get consistency in terms of the coating that we do, and that's why they come out cold.
There's some nice ones over there. You can take some snaps of the ones that are done and drying.
See the acid doing its work. It's nice patterns sometimes.
Yeah.
Expand. This is also another place where art and engineering meet. It's really, really difficult to get the construction and the alignment of the verticals and the rudders and the stabilizers and everything just hooking up with each other well. You know? We are one of the very few manufacturers in the world who make our own windows, and it's slippery because we use silicone between the mold and the perspex to make sure that it's got a nice smooth surface to not stick to and to not have imprint from the material into. Yeah, let's go through here.
Hey, how are you? Good, thank you.
So every now and again we get these crazy color requests. We're busy getting a custom purple batch made.
Oh, nice.
We had to get the makers of the thread to do custom thread for us to stitch that with, so it's quite a story, but that's the name of the game, and it will cost in quality better. So this is our upholstery. It's a little bit scattered. We've got a bit there, and this is our main unit, and then we've got a container outside. We do everything in-house. We get all the materials, raw materials, we cut, we paste, we stitch. We finish it all.
Machines are in here. Can we swing through?
Go for it.
Hi, how are you? Good. Good to see you guys. Good to see you again.
Hi, Linda.
Hello. How are you? So good to see you. How are you keeping? You look great. You look radiant, my dear. Absolutely radiant.
Thank you, Linda.
Oh, so good to see you.
Hi, Linda.
Oh, hello.
Long time, man.
Yeah.
How's your husband?
He's fine, thank
I'm
you.
glad to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I will send him your regards.
Okay,
Thank you for asking.
All right.
You're the first to ask.
Nobody misses the husband.
Back seat pockets.
I mean, like this, it looks simple, but every line here is drawn out by hand with chalk and stitched by hand, line for line.
Yeah, wow.
We don't have any of those fancy machines where you plug it in and press play and it just goes. So, tea time.
Good to see you.
Tea time now. That's why everybody's taking it easy at the moment.
Wow, isn't that amazing? I've had the great privilege of watching this go from an idea to an empty building to a great facility under some spectacular leadership. So let's go over and see the original Alrode facility where they started out.
Okay, I think let's start in the back at the top corner because it kind of goes from there. Good. So this is where it all starts. We've got the different types of materials that they use. Every part has a recipe for how you build it. It tells you the kind of material, in which orientation it needs to line up, and the resin mix and how you cure that. And so all of these things on the walls are the different templates, the shapes that they need to cut out of specific materials. There's some carbon fiber. He's busy cutting the pillars for the high wing fuselage.
Ah,
So this is where it starts, and then they make up these pre-packed parts where you take the pack and you know every bit that you need is in there and it's cut properly, and you just need to follow the recipe to build it.
That was one of the things that was very special as a builder. Normally there's no composite work required, but I got to do some of my own composite layout.
Yeah, that is quite special. So if you're building a cowling for a high wing, a bottom cowling, this is what you'll grab and everything is ready. This is the lamination area.
Wow.
And we do wet layup, which is the traditional, you know, you paint some and you put a layer of cloth and you paint some more and you put another layer of cloth. And we also do the infusion, which is this, which is a dry layup. And then they vacuum bag it, and that's what the vacuum system is for. Then they, as soon as the vacuum is reached, they make sure it stays, so there's no leaks. And then they pre-mix the resin, precise quantity, and they couple it onto that bag vacuum, and it sucks all of the resin in and it distributes it evenly, and you get a beautiful part, the right ratio between resin and material, and even thickness, so it's a really nice way of making parts. And then we also do something in between, which is still a wet layup, but then it's vacuum bagged and just made even.
Which is what I did on my door for the
Oh, right, yes.
parachute door.
Okay, so you know all about it actually. So these guys are busy prepping the mold for the next high wing fuselage. So essentially it's like cleaning it first and then applying a good layer of polish. This is the only area of Sling that's air condition controlled, climate controlled, so humidity and temperatures are. Once it's cured, it goes for a curing cycle in one of the ovens, and then usually they remove it from the mold and then it goes for post-curing the second time in the oven. And once that's done, they demold it. This is usually the demolding area, and then it goes to finishing.
It's Hendrik. You good?
Hey, good. Oh, so good to see you.
Yes, always good. You well?
I'm grand, especially when I'm here visiting family, you know? It's so good to see you.
Yeah.
We're going to go in there quick in and out, very noisy, quite dusty. This is the high wing finishing area, so you'll see how it is. Okay guys. And then the wet layer parts get cut. Parts cleaning area, and I don't know if you can recall what it looked like, but we've brought in a lot more structure. We've recently introduced more of a workflow here, so parts move from one table to the next instead of a person bringing a part and sitting with it until it's finished. So it's more process orientated. We've brought in a lot more racks to organize ourselves properly. Still a work in progress, but I think we're making progress.
Excellent.
Yes, sir.
It's like highway heaven here.
Yes. It's quite a big step. make all the aluminium parts. We also cut a few bits of plastic and composites here. Our one machine is in for refurbishment, so this one's running 24/7 at the moment.
I see, yeah, there was.
We usually have 2 CNC routers, and then we've got 2 CNC punches, and then 2 bending machines and 2 hydroforming machines. This is quite nice to watch, actually. How's it, guys? Is it finished? Is it going? You can see how in there is like 6 to 8 different dies, and it spins, choosing the right one very quick. He takes a flat part, he's going to bend it in a 3-dimensional bend. Comes out 3D.
Thank you so much for all of your time and attention. It is just what you guys have accomplished, the growth that you are managing brilliantly now. It's just so wonderful to see the improvement. And you were saying we're up to how many high wings by May? 8? 8 fuselages.
Yeah.
And that tends to be the long pole in the tent on the high wing kits, right? Is the fuselages. Well, there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed seeing how the Sling aircraft are made and manufactured. If you've made it this far through the video, I'm going to assume you have. It's really a pleasure for me to bring this content to you because obviously I have a lot of passion for the product and for the adventures that my Sling High Wing has and will continue to bring into my life. But more than that, I'm very grateful for the people that I have met and become lifelong friends with here in South Africa, but everywhere within the Sling community. It's an amazing group of people, and I'm just very grateful. So if you've enjoyed this content, by all means, let us know. I guess the words like and subscribe, and we'll see if we can bring you more of it.